Alright, so, while basically looking back at some of the very early 7D URLs, I noticed this one that was basically done by ROGUELove. And I thought to myself, that is a fairly cool idea for a roguelike that was basically being presented. Though I wonder just how tough it was really to basically play the game. So I figured it'd be a good idea to basically jump into it, play it myself, see what it was basically like. Anyhow, that game is basically called Urban Warfare: The Escape. So, this was basically made for the 7D URL of 2007, so very early. And in the spirit of my previous interest, the game incorporates wildly experimental and innovative features. You've been warned. The goal is basically to escape the enemy city while avoiding the enemies or killing them. To escape the city, you have to get past the northernmost, southernmost, easternmost, or westernmost. Is that even a word? Point. So yeah, basically you have to get out of the boundaries of the game. The game will finish immediately after you accomplish that. You have two weapons, which you can use as often as you wish: rifle and knife. You have 10 hit points, and turn off the regeneration, otherwise the game becomes too easy. Alright, so there's controls right there. So note right away that this basically has 10 controls. You basically have WSD to basically move around, but you also have Q to turn left, E to turn right, or you have Z or C to basically strafe. There's also X to basically center screen. That will be important, I think. R to shoot the rifle, F to show the enemy field of view, B to stab. There's the numpad down there to do stuff as well. I'm probably going to use the zoom in and zoom out to basically see how that basically works, but whatever. Alright, so some comments and controls. Unlike most roguelikes, your field of view is not circular. So basically you have a field of view that's actually in front of you, as opposed to being circular around you. You only see what's ahead of you. The buttons WASD move you relative to your direction, while preserving the latter. Z and C are like A and W, but they also turn you left or right respectively. So basically, oh, okay, so basically they move you and also make you strafe, I guess. So that's interesting. Alright, so use X and T to get the screen into a comfortable position because the game currently can't do it very well. So let's have a note about this game, by the way. There's basically no centering on this game, and you'll basically see how that's going to be very annoying as we go along, but whatever. So additional controls. Released in 0.8 as several other default controls as well as a new key binding concept. The key T was changed to turn the screen so the character faces right. If you want the behavior of a previous version, press T, capital T, as opposed to lowercase t. So K runs the keycore tool for information when and how to use it. See the next section, key binding. So basically it's an elaborate key system and stuff like that. There's some more stuff down here. I don't really know to read this stuff, I don't think, so we're just going to skip it. So boom. Alright, so I'll note this is another game that has, as you can see, a very small, text box for doing stuff. So please wait while the map is generated right here. And yeah, it's very small, as you can see. So we're going to basically switch this over to scene 2. And as of now, you can basically see this is what it basically looks like in that little box. So I'm actually using my OBS basically to blow up the screen here because I don't know about you guys, but I find it's kind of hard to basically see what's going on here. So yeah, I'm using OBS basically to blow this up here a little bit. Alright, so basically you can see our character right here. He's got 10 HP, 0 kills. We've done 0 terms. We got no zoom. So let's see here. I'm not seeing how the zoom basically works, so that may not work at all. So that could be a thing, but whatever. Alright, so basically the idea here is oh, I know what's wrong. I forgot to click on this. So let's see here. Oh, there we go. So you press plus, it basically zooms you in. You press minus, it zooms you out. So basically, this is what the my map basically looks like. So, all right. Here's the thing. I can actually sort of plan how I basically want to escape out of here. So if I basically move up, that will probably get me out of the city faster, but I won't have as much cover out in the field if like there's enemies out there. If I go to like the west, there's gonna be like this area like over in this direction over here is basically gonna be like kind of hard to like get cover in. Um, if I go to like let's just like zoom in here a little bit more. And yeah, I can like really zoom in if I want to. Whoa! Alright, that's like working fine, I guess. So yeah, basically using like tank controls here, basically to sort of look around. And basically the idea here is you want to basically like sort of like advance slowly and like thoughtfully as you basically try to like escape the like the city here. All right, so on the bar it's important to like press like X to sort of center the screen so often, so do that. Um, you can't move here because like I guess there's like this is like the proper zoom right here, or that's the proper zoom right there. So I'll note basically like that's something I note about this game, like you can zoom in, zoom out. Probably it's not the best feature for it, but whatever. Let's go this way a little bit. We'll strafe this way a little bit. And let's just like, center the thing here. So that's just something about this game, by the way. It's very, very hard to sort of like navigate because like, the tank controls are like this like, interesting, to say the least. Yeah, it's important to basically keep like an eye on your surroundings because you never know when someone's gonna pop in to basically start shooting you. Let's zoom out here a little bit. But anyways, I really like this idea where like you could have like this like sort of like perspective like in like this sort of environment. You've seen like a few of these like games where like you're basically like essentially trying to like stealth around. Let's just like center it right here. And yeah, just to sort of throw it out there, we're going like in this direction to sort of get out of here because like I think that'll give me some cover. But I'll put on field view on, so if like see like the enemies, you can see like where they're facing a lot. So let's go this way. So let's just zoom out here a little bit so I can see like these guys if they're like on my map a little bit. And it's like a bit part of like the game, by the way. You're like slowly navigating your way basically out of here. Now it is possible you can find like no one. Like the enemies basically aren't necessarily going to be like in your path on this one. So hmm. Go this way a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit janky, like, how I'm basically sort of playing this, but, you basically get the idea. So, this is, like, the thing about this game. It's cool that they have, like, a zoom-in for a feature, but it's definitely one of those features that, like, could have been done, I think, a little bit better. Like, it probably would be better to have, like, basically less zoom. Like, you have, like, maybe, like, 3 levels of zoom. You have, like, a sort of tactical, like, on the ground. You have, like, a basically a world map type of view, and then, like, you have, like, maybe, like, a street-by-street type of, like, view. So you can basically see, like, where buildings and stuff like that are. But just like, definitely want a more experimental, like, 70 URLs. Oh, I see him. So someone has saw me somewhere. So basically down here is an enemy. So we can basically rifle this guy maybe. Chance to hit is 71%. So you try to shoot the enemy but miss. You shoot the enemy shoots at you. You shot an enemy, so the enemy died. So basically it's like, how the sort of like game sort of works. Basically it's like, carefully like, navigate around with like hopefully not being caught by enemies. Now I'm not really sure, but I assume there's probably like, there is probably like some sort of like, sound mechanic, I assume, in this game. Let's go this way. I'm not sure if there's looting in this game, but that, could be a thing as well. Let's just do this here. And you can see why I'm basically sort of zooming out to this like levels, because like, there's a big part of like, playing this game. Let's just zoom in here. This guy gets to see me, right? So someone close enough or no target chosen. Okay, so how do I choose a target? That's basically a question here to ask myself. Like, I'm literally right on top of this guy, right? So, oh, maybe I'm not right next to this guy. I see him, I see him. I think it's possible more enemies basically saw me here, but whatever. Alright, so basically we're close enough to stab this guy. Stab, stab, stab. So the enemy shoots at you, you stab an enemy, the enemy dies. So there's an enemy basically in here, but that's basically me, like, stabbing an enemy right there. There's another enemy around me here, by the way, but if I don't see him, it's probably better to sort of run away from, right? So let's go this way. And part of the reason why I'm going like to like the east or west here is just for a simple reason that like um, because of how this like game sort of like orients its like map. It's kind of like I have to center myself constantly. If I basically go like up or down. Like I have to like have like this in order to like see properly. Now, I realize this is like an experiment, right? So it's not like entirely going to be like a successful experiment all the time. And let's just see here. We're making pretty good progress here, like making our way out of here. Center ourselves here a little bit. And thinking about this, like this game, I actually think this would have been like a good game to have like sort of like a hex, like sort of like movement type of like style. But whatever. And there we go. We escaped the city. Congratulations, you made the top 10. So I'm Davian. Blah blah blah. So basically, I had 2 kills. I escaped in 3 or 9 turns there. So what's to say about this game here, basically? So that was basically urban warfare, and I thought this game would be like interesting sort of look on like how you could basically have like sort of like a field of vision style type of like shooter roguelike. And what's more about this game here? I'll note that the last one was basically very much a modern like roguelike where like we're basically surviving in the wilderness with like an honest saint or like whatever, the saint and the rogue by JR I just did for 2013. But this is very much a modern roguelike right here, and I imagine that this could be like pretty much pivoted to like today's situations. Like say you're like a Ukrainian pilot that got shot down over Russian territory, and you have to basically escape the city before like the Russian forces capture you. That's basically something you could apply to this game right here, because it's actually like it's conceivable that could actually happen, possibly, and assuming like the pilot survives that like the crash and all that other stuff. But yeah, basically what's interesting about it is that like it's very much a modern roguelike that like you could actually apply to like today's standards and stuff like that. Throw in like maybe like a few more weapons, maybe like change the sort of orientation a little bit, but that's like a cool idea for like a roguelike that I think is played right here. I guess we could try and go again just to try and like lengthen this a little bit more. So then there's like controls here and stuff like that. So move forward, step back, stuff like that. I'll note that the controls I was basically using there, by the way, were like Q, W, E, and all this stuff right here. There is of course numpad to move around, and it's done like move coordinate wise. So I think that's like more like traditional like you press like the numpad to move like in 5, it moves you like in that coordinate based direction, as opposed to like tank controls I'm basically using right here. Because tank controls don't like tank controls most of the time. And yeah, I could have read that right, that little bit right there, but whatever. Let's just go like this. Oops, wrong way. Alright, so we're basically back in a city here. I'm not really sure, but I think the city might be like somewhat like, similar to the last one I was basically in, so I wonder if this is like, during like, randomly or not, but whatever. Alright, let's see here. Let's go this way. See, I'm not using like the numpad here, as opposed to like, as opposed to like, the tank control like ability right there. And I'm gonna do something stupid. It's gonna go in this direction right here. And we're requires me to basically center the screen every so often. And I assume this is basically something that, like, ROGUELove is like, basically like, annoyed by, like, but having to basically center yourself. Because, you have to basically like center yourself every single time basically like you move here. I don't know if I like move like outside the map here. Then like it, unlock recenters me obviously, because like, you can't really see otherwise. So at least it'll do that for you. So we center ourselves right here. I should probably have field of view basically on so you can basically see any like, cones if I need to. And let's recenter ourselves here a little bit, so I'll note by like this is a game that like it probably does actually benefit more from the tank controls than like you might expect actually. Like you can play with like the numpad like I'm doing right now, but Oh, I see. Basically, here's like what I was basically trying to avoid last time, because there could be enemies anywhere in this field. And I have no way of basically seeing them, really. Or any cover, really. Oh! There's an enemy right there. Oh, I see. If you walk right on top of these guys, he's like, I see him! I see him! Stab. Stab, stab, stab. And yeah, I can see that being a lot better if like you have like a sort of like, sneak up and like, actually stab him in the back as opposed to like, what that was basically right there. Just constantly resetting my screen as I try and get out of here without dying. Alright, close enough? Oh, there we go. We stabbed this guy without him like noticing me. So another, dev rescue or whatever. And there we go, top 10 again. So there's Damien again. So that time I had 2 kills again. I escaped even faster because like numpad as opposed to like tank controls. All right, well that was basically urban warfare, and that's actually a pretty interesting like sort of concept for like a roguelike, like how it's basically sort of designed. I think it could be like better, I guess, with like a few things. Like I can imagine that being like a lot better with like a hex like type of like style, like a hex grid type of like map interface, so to speak, where like if hexes to like orient your character as well as like move. So basically like you have like let's just say it'd be like north north like north east, north west. You have like west and like east, and you have like south east, south west, and you basically can orient yourself in like one of those 6 directions and see like stuff in like a free cone area from like the place you're like basically looking. And I can also see like maybe add like some modern weapons in there, like some machine guns and stuff like that. So there's stuff like that. Maybe you can have like stealth weapons and stuff too. But anyhow, that's basically urban warfare, and I sort of just left on the black screen there. Sorry about that, but whatever. And yeah, cool game. Definitely one I want to spotlight. So hope you guys basically enjoyed that, and take care.